Welcome back to the Aussie Prepper channel and welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk a little bit more about the whole Dezi Freeman situation, and this will be the last Dezi Freeman video that I am making on this channel unless there is some new major developments, like they do find him dead or alive, or there's some sort of end result to the whole situation. But today I want to talk about what the search warrant was all about, how police were grossly incompetent, and how the Australian taxpayer lost over $100 million due to this incompetence. Let's first look at what the search warrant was all about. Apparently, from all the information that's available to us now, the search warrant was allegedly in relation to Dezi Freeman skinny dipping on a family outing in the Mount Buffalo area. It appears he was out there camping or hiking or whatever they were doing with some of his kids and some of their friends. And apparently this happened years and years ago. There's no actual date that's given that I could find anywhere of when this occurred, but apparently it was quite a few years ago. But the allegation is that Dezi stripped off all his clothes and jumped into the lake or creek and went for a swim. And the complaint was made by a female friend of his kids, from my understanding. And at the time of the incident, this person was about 15 or 16, maybe 17 years old. This person is now an adult, and from what I have read, she claims to be suffering from trauma going back to that day, and she has made a police report in relation to the incident. Now, if this is all that has happened, this would be just a matter of indecent exposure, which in Victoria falls under the Summary Offences Act 1966. So it is a summary offence being an offence where the maximum penalty does not exceed 2 years in prison. So a summary offence is generally referred to as a minor offence and is often dealt with a monetary fine or very short prison sentence. So apparently that is what the search warrant was all about. It seems like an odd thing to have a search warrant for, because what were they looking for? Were they looking for his speedos that he took off on the day? Were they looking for photos or videos? What would they have been looking for in relation to that incident that happened many years previously? It makes no sense to me. So I believe there's probably more to it, but this is all we know at this stage. So let's talk a little bit about the police incompetence. So 10 people, 10 trained and armed police officers turned up at Dezi's caravan or camp. They surrounded the area, and each one of those officers was armed with a semi-automatic handgun with up to 30 rounds of ammunition each person. So that would equate to 10 firearms and around 300 rounds of ammunition being carried between 10 people that were on site. Now, Dezi is in his 50s. He is a disability pensioner, and he was there with his child and his wife and a homemade shotgun. So how does a mid-50s disability pensioner with a homemade shotgun manage to overpower 3 police and then simply walk away from the site with his wife and child in tow, while there's 7 other armed and trained police officers standing by, and Dezi just manages to walk away and disappear into thin air, never to be seen again? How does that happen? That makes no sense to me. That is an extreme level of incompetence on part of the police. Did none of the other 7 decide to fire a single shot, while this 50-something-year-old disability pensioner was just walking away from a double murder? It makes no sense to me whatsoever. And I know police are not disclosing the full story. They never do disclose the full story. But this story just makes absolutely no sense. And now it appears that they have so far spent well over $100 million trying to find Dezi, and they have not even come up with any trace or even a theory of what may have happened. There's no footsteps, there's no CCTV cameras, there's no witnesses, there's absolutely nothing there. According to police and all known resources, it appears that Dezi has just disappeared from the face of the earth. It almost seems like Dezi has been beamed up into space into an alien spacecraft. It is the weirdest story that I've ever come across that absolutely makes no sense. Whether or not he ends up being found guilty of the offences that he's alleged of, who knows? We might never know. Will the police ever release the body cam footage and all the information of what's actually happened? I doubt it. Port Arthur happened decades ago and we still have no idea what happened there. So I think this is going to be another massive cover-up and we will likely never know what's happened there. Now, like I said, I will not be doing any more updates on this topic unless something majorly changes that would warrant an update that is actually worthwhile to watch. Now, I'd love to hear your personal thoughts and theories on this. So feel free to leave your comment down below. Let the discussion begin. I'll try and read all comments. There's so many comments, a lot of times I do not get to reply to all of them, but be assured I do read all of them. I sometimes spend hours reading comments and trying to reply to as many as I can. But I do have to live my life. I can't just spend days and days replying to comments on YouTube. Now feel free to share this video on all your social media to try and grow this channel a little bit bigger. And in the meantime, if you enjoyed today's video, do me a favour, give me a big thumbs up and don't forget to smash that subscribe button for more videos from Aussie Prepper. Thanks for watching and bye for now.